Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of We Talk Talent. Today, I am pleased to interview a very senior industry leader who has worked as CEO and managing director for multiple companies. Please welcome Mr. Govind Singhal, CHRO and Group Enablement Officer, Intellect Design. Welcome to this interview, Mr. Singhal.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on our show, and it's a really honor for me to interview you for our We Talk Talent series.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Before we get into asking all the questions about technology, about talent acquisition, I would like to ask you a very simple yet personal question. What I have seen that you have always been a business person and worked as CEO and managing director. How do you perceive your role as chief of people, leading employees, and how different is this from your previous roles?
Well, in earlier roles, way back in 2000 and all, I was still leading a business, but I participated a lot in HR and HR related aspects, and that excited me a lot. I contributed quite a bit to the organization culture, organization policies, and principles. And at this point in time, when we were forming Intellect, and we kind of restructuring the organization from Polaris to Intellect. At that point in time, what I thought was I have done enough of business, and I've now taken a responsibility to kind of enable the business, right? Where we have the multiple units, and I thought the best I could do is support those businesses and kind of provide my expertise all around to the businesses. And HR is one of the important portfolio that I lead.
Which are more difficult, leading business or leading people?
Well, I would say leading people now, because this is something new to me to do, do my day's job.
Okay. You just mentioned that you being a CEO, MD, CEO, you are very much interested toward HR, which is a very important aspect. I would like to highlight another important aspect, which is employer branding,
Yeah,
and it can't be ignored in talent acquisition as of now.
sure.
According to you, how important is employer branding, and how can companies boost their talent acquisition strategy through employer branding?
Well, I would say in general, it is very important because these days, the social media has become so very important, and that most of the hiring is done through various platforms like these, right? Difficult part is that most of these platforms create a default page for you. If you are not actively looking and managing it, then it is the general opinion that gets formed. So it becomes a responsibility for the organizations, not only from the point of view of attracting the talent, but also from the point of view what kind of image, what kind of view is presented in the candidates in the employees market. So it is extremely important these days, and we know that newspapers are no more there, and that are required for the recruitment. So from recruitment point of view in these days, uh, branding, I believe, is very, very important, though we have moved in this direction a way too late. And only because we don't hire too many people compared to the other industry leaders. We are a product organization. So we never felt the pinch of it. But in the recent times when it's a talent war, uh, I think it's very important for every organization to have their story in front of employees.
You just said that you don't hire many people. And I want to highlight another aspect where, apart from employer branding, that is candidate experience.
Yep,
Though you hire less number of people or a huge number of people, but candidate experience matters a lot.
certainly.
What metrics do you follow to evaluate and assess candidate experience? Like, do you have KPIs for hiring managers in this regard?
Yes, we do that. Actually, we do surveys as part of the entire process of interviewing, identifying, interviewing, and onboarding. And we kind of recognize what are some of the elements, like how has been the recruiter contact with the individuals that we try to identify, what they the useful in terms of providing the required information about the job, about the organization, that their experience during the interview times, and so on and so forth, and how was the experience in between the offers and the onboarding. So all those things matter a lot.
What about the virtual candidate experience? Like, given that virtual is here to stay, how do you see the candidate experience evolving in future? The virtual candidate experience.
Yeah, since COVID, everything is turned virtual, and we also realigned our entire recruitment strategy on virtual mode. And I think it's very important that rather than being face to face, the conferencing tools like Zoom and others are very useful. And it is very important that we have the right kind of platforms available, and also our recruitment team as well as our hiring managers who go through multiple interviews are well familiar and are effective on these channels, right? So we have tried to make use of it in a number of ways. We use Google Meet in our organization wide, and in stray incidents we use Zoom. And well, that's very useful aspect, but in most of the experience really and engagement follows through post the interviews. The kind of information that we can provide to the candidates virtually through sending the videos, sending some kind of information about the organization, having the leaders connect with the individuals. So there are multiple aspects in these times, especially to really connect with the candidates and to enhance their experience about the organization, and of course the hiring managers, and so on and so forth.
I would like to understand what skills and attributes are necessary for hiring managers.
Well, to my mind, hiring managers, beside they should be subject matter expert in first place. That's the most important thing. But to my mind, that's not the only thing, right? They need to be courteous. They need their behaviorally. They need to be kind of expert in asking great questions to explore the aspects other than the subject on which they want to hire an individual, right? Uh, they should be able to assess some of the other behavioral aspects also, while we do the behavioral and personality tests as well. But that is the first level that one validates, right, during the interviews. Because in our philosophy, uh, the subject skills are probably 70% of the total consideration. Rest of it is more for the various other behavioral aspects and the personality aspects. And an interviewer must be able to, or hiring manager must be able to assess those as part of this conversation.
Talking about the future, how technology is driving innovation in talent management. I would like to highlight the talent management part. And where is it heading? What are your thoughts?
Well, if you will, especially from where we headed from the point of view of the workforce itself, we are looking at probably multiple ways that you can have the workforce, and hybrid is the most common one, where you can have the multiple type of workforce in coexisting at the same time. And I think there's a very important need for HR leaders and HR teams to really design the engagement programs that can be delivered consistently to all. Even if people are co-located, they're not located. We've been doing a lot of such things. We've been leveraging this Google Meet platform very effectively for that. Regular connect and communication from managers is one of the most important things besides all. But there are several activities, wellness. um, then you talk about some of the engaging activities. Learning has become some of the most important things in a virtual environment. One can do that at their own pace. So I think maybe I think it's a kind of a boon in this crisis that the world and us have learned to kind of manage this engagement, leveraging technology. You also have tools like for doing the quick surveys, right? Or which are more like AI based, natural language interface based surveys, which is more like perhaps an individual cannot be reached by the people from HR and all. But there are tools like that that can continuously be in touch with the individuals and get to know about how they're doing and how's their health, and also keep a tab on their level of engagements.
Though you hire a very less number of people, but what are the attributes you look for in people while hiring?
So, as I mentioned in my earlier response, so one is, of course, the in the area that we are hiring, the domain or the subject matter expertise. But besides that, there are a few other things, and thing is like we explore through our interviews, and what we ensure is that do they have a learning attitude, do they have aspirations to grow, right? Do they have energy in their conversations and what they talk about? We also try to learn about what kind of commitment do they have towards managing their own growth, right? So these are some of the aspects what we look at when we try to evaluate our future employees, because it's a complete comprehensive game. When you try to take a person on, we really believe in some of these things. That person should be have energy, they should be having the learning attitude, they should be able to have the ambitions to grow, and they should be able to chart out their path towards that. And we of course enable those things when the person is on board.
I'll note that ambition to grow. That's a very important point. And I think on that note, I would like to thank you. Thank you for taking out time and sharing your thoughts with us. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. You're welcome.